So I just did a thing here. You might be able to tell by that stuff on the ground, but I put some 7-inch Jeep headlights, LEDs in this thing. I've got one side completely done and the other side is wired, but I didn't put it away yet because I want to show how I did it. So pretty much the biggest thing with this is because it's LED, it's got this box that you've got to wire in, which it's got a connector from the bulb, and then it's got another connector that plugs in your actual headlight wire down here. So the main thing though is this arm, because this is what stops your headlight from just continuing to go up infinitely. And if you have any of the wiring over here, it's either going to stop you from putting the headlight all the way down or stop you from putting it all the way up. So what I did is added some zip ties and electrical tape to things to hold all of the new wiring over to the side so it's not in the way. So the only other thing I had to do, which I didn't do it on this side, you might be able to tell that I needed to, but these corners on the top and bottom kind of rub on the housing, and on this side I couldn't get them into position, so I took a Dremel and I dremeled them down along with the corners down there that stuck out, because there are these little notches here. You can see them on the bulbs here, here, and here, and those have to sit in the housing or the bulb will stick out too far. And then you'd either have to get longer screws for here or do something else. So I just dremeled it on this side. I didn't have to do it on the other side. So that's cool. I haven't aligned them yet. I'll have to do that tonight when it's dark. And I can actually see what I'm doing. And I didn't take this stuff off because I wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to hit anything down here when I put them down, but there's plenty of clearance because they're sitting still in the stock location. So pretty much you've got the headlight wire, you wire that up to this thing with the box, that plugs in your old headlight harness, and then these ones have like a halo ring, and it also works as a turn signal. So down here I've got that spliced, the red goes to the red and the yellow goes to the green down here at your turn signal connector. So the turn signal still does what it's supposed to do, but now you also have this when the you have to at least have the lights in the first position for these to work. And obviously, unless you manually have them flipped up all the time, you're only going to see them when the headlights are on anyway. So, but they work pretty good. I don't know how bright they are, but they seem to be pretty bright from what I've seen online. I can't really operate them because there's no one else here to hold the camera. I don't have a tripod or anything right now, so maybe when I do like a nighttime video, I'll do something like that. But yeah, this is what, well, I didn't even finish this side. This is still all loose in here. I'm gonna fold it all up and zip tie it together. But I did put electrical tape on the splice connectors down here. Put some electrical tape on things in here that are touching zip ties so that they don't get rubbed through. And then I just routed the lines along the headlight wires, and then down here along these other wires, and then underneath along here so that they're not going to scrape on anything. And then when they get down here, like I said, I'm going to loop them all together and probably tie them down to this area here so that they're not in the way. But these work 100% right now. Well, this one does. If I tried to put this one up and down, this would be in the way, being right here. So I just got to fold it all up off to the side like I did over here, and then it'll be done. So, I mean, depending on what kit you get, I got like a Super-E or something. They all look almost exactly the same. They're like 120 bucks a set on Amazon. There's like 400 different ones that are all almost exactly the same. They just have varying amounts of reviews. The only other thing that happened is a couple of these screws that hold these headlight covers on, they wouldn't come out without stripping this Phillips head thing. So I had to drill them out So I have a bunch of other screws that should fit in here, and I'll just replace them. You could probably find bolts that fit in there, and then that would be better, so that if they got stuck again and you need to remove them, you wouldn't strip the heads out. But not that big of a deal, because once you drill the head off, the stub that's left in here comes out by hand, so not that big of a deal. But as long as you do it like this, the headlight should go up and down completely fine all the time. You just have to be out of the way of this arm here. You could cut it off, but that would be really dumb, because then your headlight would probably just try to open like 180 degrees, and that wouldn't be good, so don't do that. That's a bad idea. If they do get stuck, what I did is I just went over here to the fuse box and took out this fuse right here, and then used the manual winding things to wind them up or down far enough for me to untangle whatever was stopping them from closing. So that's it. I'll make another video later, with them working. I'll prop my phone up against the fence or do something, who knows. But that is it for now.